This is Future Talk.
Future Talk.
Future Talk with Omnia Saleh and Hani Balkis.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Future Talk right here on Pulse 95. It is one fantastic afternoon right here in the Pulse 95 studios, and you're listening to Future Talk, the one and only place where we bring you the latest in robotics, artificial intelligence, gadgets, and applications. All that you need to know about what's happening in the tech world, in the UAE, and around the world is being brought to you right here on Pulse 95.
That is correct, Omni. And also, we're talking about today how the International Space City is going to create 1 million Arab women space entrepreneurs.
Lots and lots is happening in the space industry, and women are becoming a lot more involved. Coming up on Future Talk, we're also going to be talking all about Google making a little bit of a makeover to their platforms, because the G Suite is now Google Workplace, and they are trying to merge Gmail chat, and documents all into one.
Yes, indeed. And also, we do have a live interview today, ladies and gentlemen, with Maryam Moustafa and Aldash.
Yes, indeed. They are American University of Sharjah graduates who actually won the James Dyson Award. They created an invention that was able to solve a very big problem for the people of determination, more specifically for those who struggle with visual impairments. Their invention is called Touch, and it can actually help those who struggle with visual impairments see the colors and read or be able to understand the labels that they come across. Lots and lots is in store right here on Future Talk today, so keep Pulse 95 locked, and we'll be right back.
Daily digital news. Bits and bytes connect our world.
Your quick roundup of everything that is happening in the tech world in the UAE and around the world. Right here in the UAE, we have definitely been very involved in the space industry. We've seen the Hope probe launch to Mars back in July, and now right here in September, right now, October, oh my God, the months are flying from me today. We are actually working to basically create a small rover to visit the moon. But the International Space City is also working on its very own initiative to create 1 million Arab women space entrepreneurs. And this is basically going to be an online program opening the doors for every woman to be a part of the space sector.
Yes, and I love how much Arabs are being involved with space. Now, there's going to be a 6-week online program that will help Arab women in the GCC to launch their own space-related businesses. Now, Liverpool-based International Space City, which is a virtual commercial city to promote the business of space, is rolling out a new online program called Space Hackers to create 1 million Arab space entrepreneurs. Now, it is held under the Inspire Generations campaign. Now, Space Hackers is a 6-week leadership and mini MBA training program, and it will help Arab women in the Gulf to launch their own space-related businesses in 3 areas, which will be law and ethics, social impact, and trade and business.
Now, Space 4.0 has definitely become an emerging industry. We've seen countries increasingly become more involved in it, but this is definitely one of the biggest initiatives that has been happening. It was originally scheduled to launch in March. I've been loving Mars today. It was initially scheduled to launch in March, but it was delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So the first batch will actually be starting out their classes from November 17th. So we still have a little bit of time to go. Cheaper and faster technology has definitely paved the way for smaller companies to innovate and disrupt the space industry. But this will be representing 50% of the growth of the global space economy by 2040. So we're looking at one of the biggest initiatives that have been done in the space sector.
And only the global space economy is actually estimated to generate a revenue of around $1 trillion or more in the year 2040, and up from $350 billion this year alone. So that's a lot of money just talking about space and going into space. Now, the International Space City does describe space hackers as individuals who use creative, low-cost strategies to accelerate the commercialization of the space industry. So I like that a lot, because who knew we could kind of generate revenue from space? Now, we know that we spend a lot of money to go to space, But what if space can now give us that money back?
Exactly. And what if space could actually become a place for us to create different businesses? The best part about it is that applications are basically open for anyone and everyone. Every adult woman, non-graduate, graduate, of any age and of any background right here in the GCC can go ahead and apply. The fee is actually quite a small fee for such a great initiative. It's only $150 and you can actually check them out on their website, spacecity.uk. But let's move on to talk a little bit about what is happening in the world of Google.
Yes, indeed. We're talking about G Suite. Now, is now Google Workspace in a bid to merge Gmail, Chat, and Docs. Now, we've seen a lot of merging going on lately.
Yes.
When it comes to big tech companies. We have Facebook, with Instagram. I mean, a lot of things are merging. A lot of companies who have different entities are merging it all together. But Google is announcing a big rebranding and redesign for its suite of Office apps. Now, it is rebranding G Suite with a name. It's going to be called Google Workspace, along with the new branding for the product that does encompass Gmail, Docs, Meets, Sheets, and Calendar. And new features are designed to make all those products feel like they're more integrated with one another. And that's where the ecosystem comes back in.
Yes.
Now, I'm telling you, Omnia, Apple did pave the way of that ecosystem type of feel back when they first launched their iPhone with their what's it called, the iCloud,
the iPad, the iCloud drives.
So, have you ever used Google Docs?
Yes, I have. And the best part about it is that it automatically saves, especially for someone who forgets to save whatever they type. It definitely comes in handy. But the new features are, to be honest, phenomenal. So I typically don't use Google Docs as frequently as I should. I find myself gearing more towards the basic Word document. But the new features that they're offering will definitely be a very big, they're going to lure a lot of customers into them, especially those who are currently working remotely, because their new features allow you to basically be on a chat, but at the same time open a new presentation, open a new Word document within a new Google document within the chat itself. So you'll basically have mini pop-ups that allow you to do multiple things at the same time.
Now, Omnia, I like Google Docs a lot. I'll tell you why. Because first of all, it can be viewed by more than one person.
So especially in group projects, it comes in handy.
So for example, I have a Google Doc open and I send you that link and I can be typing and fixing and editing and you can see that as well. And you can then chat with me, say, Hani, I think that should be different, or you have a different opinion. And then it can be used for revision, because it also does have a kind of Excel type of spreadsheet on it. And I like it, but the only thing that I don't like about Google Docs, or in general Google's apps is that it's on the web browser. If there was a kind of download,
there are apps on the phone, but not as frequently used.
On the phone is fine. I'm talking about on laptops, computers. I don't like it that much. I've used it. I don't like it, but I like that it's always stored there and it's always safe. And you did bring a great point that it's automatically saving your work.
Absolutely. And one of the biggest features that Google is actually introducing today is the integration of Google Meet into Gmail. Now, this is definitely in hopes to draw more users to using their services, but instead of going ahead and having to open a Gmail tab on the desktop, be on your Google Meets chat at the same time, you can just have those all in one. And also, they're definitely going to be introducing more features like creating a document directly from a chat window, or even starting a video call from within a presentation. These are features that are going to be rolling out hopefully within the coming weeks or even coming months. But for non-business customers, these changes will be available a little bit later than those who pay for the business version of Google Suite or the Google Workplace.
Do you think it might knock Microsoft Office off?
This is definitely, it's a big competition.
You think so?
I don't know if
You think they have a chance with Zoom, Skype, and those things?
I think they do have a chance with Zoom and Skype, especially because we're currently a lot of companies have chosen to work remotely for an extended period of time. But when it comes to Word document, it is definitely one of the biggest applications that are used.
100%. I don't think Google has a chance with Microsoft and their documents and their Excel and everything. I mean, when you're using something for so long, I don't think you're gonna change your ways. I mean, there's courses on these applications.
They teach them in school.
But I don't know. Let us know what you think though. 4215 Durat Salat. Do text us and let us know Would you use Google Workspace or Microsoft Office or on Instagram at Pulse95 Radio?
Coming up on Future Talk, we're going to be discussing a very interesting invention that is going to help people of determination gain their sense of independence. An invention that was created by two American University of Sharjah graduates who won the James Dyson Award. They're going to be joining us over a call on our video chat platform. So keep Pulse 95 locked, and we'll be right back.
This is Future Talk.
Future Talk.
Future Talk with Omnia Al Saleh and Hani Balkis.
Innovation that is meant to solve a problem is definitely one of the best forms of using technology, and especially when it comes to helping people of determination gain their sense of independence. A wearable technology born and bred right here in the UAE is our topic of discussion today because two American University of Sharjah graduates, Maryam Moustafa and Aldash, took home the first prize in the James Dyson Award for their invention Touch that can help the visually impaired see the colors around them. Joining us today are the two inventors telling us more about what their invention does and how wearable tech has actually been coming in handy when it comes to helping people of determination gain their sense of normalcy. Welcome to the show, Maryam and Nada.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show, Maryam and Nada. And when we see inventions come to life, a lot of the reasons is that people are motivated by something. What motivated you to create this invention?
So I think we started off, the project started off as a university assignment where we were tasked to create a smart surface device. Mm-hmm. So Maryam and I were brainstorming and we wanted to basically figure out who we're designing this for and what kind of problem are we trying to solve. And one thing led to another and we kind of started talking about color. And we asked ourselves, so if we couldn't see color, how could we describe it? And that's sort of like where we ventured off to. We started researching, we went on YouTube, obviously, because like the internet.
Yeah.
And we found this YouTuber called Tommy Edison, who was, he's blind, and he had this video where he was talking about color and how he understood the idea of color. Like he understood that the sky was blue, but like he still doesn't understand what blue means. So that's when we also went to the Emirates Association of the Visually Impaired, and we had like a few interviews and we asked them what your favorite color is, how do you pick out your outfit for the day, things like that. And then we realized that it wasn't our place to tell them what color is. It's something that we wanted them to have the freedom to like get their own conceptual idea of color. So that's where the ring kind of like bloomed, really.
I love the idea that you two wanted the people or whoever is using the wearable technology to be able to give their own meaning to what color is.
Exactly.
Maryam, can you tell us a little bit about how the ring touch works? So what is the technology behind it? How does it function? And how does it help people read colors?
So the way to interact with the ring is through touch. So you wear the ring and you activate it by double tapping. And then once it's activated, you hold an object or piece of clothing and the ring will take a few seconds and it will read back the color of that object through like a Bluetooth earphone. And in terms of like the technology it uses, so because the ring started off as a conceptual idea, the technology hasn't been completely figured out, but from our preliminary research, we know that it's probably going to need a color sensor and an OCR, which are like the two main functions. Oh, and by the way, the ring has the secondary function of being able to read small texts like clothes sizing or receipts. And that's what the reading function is for.
Can you tell us a little bit about the OCR technology that you mentioned that needs to be embedded within the ring?
So, like I said earlier, we haven't fully figured out like how this technology can be all like shrunk into a ring. We've discussed like maybe we could have an add-on that comes with the ring later on, like a bracelet that can house all the wires or something like that. But it's all very rough ideas at the moment.
Okay. So the wearable technology, which is the ring touch, comes with, as you mentioned, a lot of features. Can you tell us a little bit about what is its capability when it comes to reading text? How can it read labels to the person wearing it?
So the way it works is by the same way you would hold an item and wait for it to recognize the color. You just move your hand across a strip of text, but very slowly. And that should allow the OCR to take a photo of that area and then later on convert it into digital text that can be like read out.
And I want to know about fruit. How does it work with fruit?
I'm so glad you brought that up
because I was trying to think. That's why I was quiet for a while. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to kind of make my own assumption, but I had to ask you guys.
Yeah, this is actually like somehow, you know, the game Chinese telephone where you say something and then along the line it just changes.
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened here.
What happened exactly.
We said that an alternative, like use case for it would be grocery shopping, not fruits. Because of its label reading capability. So you can probably check like the ingredients or something. But for fruits, you know, the visually impaired can find out which fruit it is by just holding
by
it.
Touching it, exactly.
Exactly, yeah. So they don't need the ring for that. But yeah.
Okay, I thought I was going to go back to the color. Green apple, red apple, ripe banana, yellow banana. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I like... You also mentioned a feature of it actually being able to read smaller text, which I think also makes the invention ring, touch ring, stand out from you know the typical applications that we've been seeing going around for the visually impaired to help them basically decipher the texts that they can't necessarily read. They'll be able to hear them through. So, what put your invention touch at a pedestal to other competitors at the James Dyson Award?
Nada, do you want to go for this?
So I think when we first started the project, because we moved forward in a design perspective, we wanted to see how we could come about this in more of a design aspect. I also think that one of the things that helped us a lot, specifically with the James Dyson Award, was the video that we created that really showcased what the ring kind of does and its functionality, and it made it look like somehow believable. And that sort of like pushed us over the edge because we showed them that because this technology already exists and all we really need is just to fit it into a ring. So it wasn't anything that was far-fetched. We weren't thinking something that's a long line like maybe 5-10 years. No, this is something that already exists. We already have this technology around us. What makes us a little different is the fact that the ring it's not something that's too far into the future. I think that's what
So it's basically something doable and something that is actually we're able to see it happening in the very near future. Coming up on Future Talk, we're going to be talking all about the importance of creating technology to help people of determination regain their sense of independence. And also, what are the future plans for the invention touch? Keep Pulse 95 locked. We'll be right back.
Gadget of the day.
New tech you might want to play with.
2.2 billion people around the world suffer from visual impairment, and this is definitely a very big number considering how many inventions we have that help those people regain their sense of independence. Joining us today are two American University of Sharjah graduates, Maryam Moustafa and Nada Aldash, who actually took home first prize of the James Dyson Award for this year, 9,500 dirhams for their invention of a ring named Touch. This ring can help the visually impaired decipher different colors and even regain their sense of independence on a trip to the grocery store. Welcome back to the show, Maryam and Nada. It's such a great honor having you with us today.
Thank you so much.
I want to ask you a question, guys. What did you guys major in university? What is your majors?
Multimedia design.
Wow.
Yep.
Both of you?
Yeah.
See, that goes to show it doesn't matter what you've majored in. If
you don't
have
have to be an engineer. You
Yeah.
don't have to be, specializing in computer science. As long as you have an idea and you do actually dive deep and maybe self-learn even the technology behind it.
A lot of inventors we see, they don't major in engineering, computer science programming, just like you said. But Maryam and Nada, I want to ask you guys a question. Now, if this ring would come to life, I want to know how much would it cost to produce, and would it be expensive to the person using it, the consumer, as well?
So the idea with the ring really was going to be kind of like a luxury brand, like high-end sort of. So once production starts to happen, we're definitely going to be aiming for things like materials and technologies that are like on the more expensive side. And then once we sell it, we're definitely going to be marketing it as something that's like up there with like the Apple brand or something, you know, like aim high. But that's sort of the intention with it. It's that it's a sleek accessory that's like really nice to have, even if you're not visually impaired. Like you'd just be happy to wear it.
So I like the fact that it's also an accessory, so it helps people not feel like they're standing out.
So you guys got Omnia's sweet spot. You got to her sweet spot because she loves wearable technology.
Which brings me to the question, what inspired you to choose the design of a ring rather than, let's say, a bracelet or even a necklace for the visually impaired?
Well, actually, at the very, very start, we actually just wanted an add-on to the cane, the common cane that they use in order to walk. But so when we went to the Emirates Association of the Visually Impaired in Sharjah, we basically gave them like a probe kit, and part of that probe kit was all like made out of cardboard. It was really not well crafted. When we gave it to them, we realized how much they really disliked using the cane. So part of the probe kit was an add-on to the cane that had like buttons with like different shapes to see like what they would respond to the most. And it also had a ring made out of cardboard to see like how things would go. Basically, the add-on to the cane would control the ring's like settings. And then we realized because they don't even like to use the cane because it seems like they stand out, like people keep looking at them and stuff like that. So that's really when it like a light bulb hit us, and we decided to like make the ring stylish and discreet. Like you would look at it and you wouldn't think, oh, this is so that you can like be able to read something or to detect color or whatever. People will look at it and go, oh, this is really like, it's a really pretty ring.
I love
it. Simple as that.
I love this, honestly, because especially if you were to ask any...
It's a great selling point.
It is. And for people of determination, the main thing that they always want and they always crave is to feel like they are just like anyone else.
Exactly. They are. They're even, some of them have more talents than normal people that you would meet in your day-to-day life who are completely healthy because... And this is another reason why right here in the UAE, we tend to call them people of determination rather than people with a disability, because a disability is only that of the mind, as they say. Exactly. And I mean, I like the ring. I think if that was ever out, when it does come out, I think I'd get my hands on one.
You'd get one?
Yeah, because I love messing with technology.
It does look very sleek. So I think the initial design of it is not, catered towards a certain gender. It looks very, it works for both genders.
It's neutral, yeah.
It's neutral, it's gender neutral, and at the same time, as you mentioned, it does the job for those who are visually impaired, but it's also a great accessory to have for those who aren't. Maryam, can you share with us a little bit on what are your future plans? So I know October 15 is going to be a very important day for you too, as it is the second level of the James Dyson Award, where they were currently shortlisted. So there's another shortlisting, and then they announced the official winner, I think sometime in November. So can you tell us a little bit about what are your future plans for it? If you were to win, which we are definitely going to be keeping our prayers on the 15th of October that you two win the James Dyson Award, what would be your next step?
I think regardless of whether we win or not, our next step is the same, and that's to really nail the technology and make our first really functional prototype, and just figure out all the process that it needs. And then the following step would be to slowly begin getting things like a patent and copyrights, and then begin mass producing. So, yeah.
Maryam and Nada, one of the youngest and most efficient innovators that I've come to know in my time on Future Talk. And it's amazing to think that an initial brainstorm on how people of visual impairment, how people of determination decipher colors, brought them to create a ring that would help them do just that.
And I'm proud of you two girls. I'm proud and I'm happy to see two Arab women doing and winning a James Dyson Award and doing what you guys are doing at when you guys are still in university. I'm proud of you guys, and I do wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Right here from the heart of Sharjah, innovation has been born, and it is definitely going to be taking places in different parts around the world, hopefully. Thank you so much, Maryam and Nada, for joining us. But coming up on Future Talk, we're going to be talking all about Instagram's birthday. Yesterday was actually the 10-year mark. Instagram turned 10 years old, and they're doing a little bit of a rebranding, but also introducing many anti-bullying features.
My favorite features.
Keep Pulse 95 locked. We'll be right back.
Pulse 95.
Apps all around.
What's worth a click and download?
It was the birthday of a very special application yesterday.
The future app that I will be famous on. The app
really?
that the Future Me app will be famous on.
The Future Me app will be famous. Let's not move the spotlight from
twisters.
Instagram.
But
it was Instagram's 10-year birthday.
yes, it is Instagram's 10-year birthday, and they did a kind of special anniversary celebration because of that. And I saw a lot of people changing the icon of Instagram because you can do it on their 10-year anniversary. You have a list of icons you can change from the beginning ever since Instagram was created until 2020. Have you changed?
I didn't, but I loved the old icon. It looked like a little bit retro. It had that like retro,
Do you know how, by the way?
ancient feel to it. No, I don't. But a lot of people were actually changing it and sharing pictures of the old icon on their Instagram feed. But Instagram, to also celebrate their 10-year birthday, I can't believe Instagram is a decade old now, they actually introduced new features, specifically anti-bullying features, to help us fight misinformation and also cyberbullying. But my favorite feature out of them all is the map or the calendar view that they've introduced. So for those of you who post Insta stories, you do know that a lot of them are actually archived.
Yes.
And now you can go ahead and have basically a calendar view of all of your previous stories. You'll be able to see exactly what you've posted, what day, and what you were doing on that day.
Yes, Omnia. Now, stories are supposed to disappear after 24 hours automatically, but it is not surprising that many of our stories Instagram has archived, and they do kind of show you kind of like in memories on Snapchat. It says, on this day in 2018, you were happier, honey.
I was just going to say, why is
you were happier.
Why is it always that you think you were happier on that day than you are today?
Yeah, it's especially during quarantine, Omnia.
Oh,
I would be on my laying down on my bed, and it'd be the clock would pass 12 a.m. So it'd be a new day. So it'd say, hey, here's your memories, honey. Oh my God. In 2018, I was with my friends chilling in the desert, but now I'm at home.
The good old times.
Because of Corona.
The thing is, though, I made a promise to myself I wouldn't open memories during quarantine because it was like, why am I going to live in the past and feel sorry about myself? But it was definitely a very tough time to look through memories on. But now Instagram is giving you the option of having them in a calendar view, but also having a maps location right next to every story that you posted. So you can actually also remember which country have you traveled to on that day.
Yes, I mean, I've traveled to a lot of countries this year, Omnia. Have you traveled to a lot of countries
Yes,
this year?
the kitchen,
The kitchen.
the living room. My room.
I mean, we have actually. I mean, we brought a lot of apps on the show that showed us that we can be anywhere, anytime,
Virtually.
any place, virtually. And we didn't want to travel anyways this year. But ladies and gentlemen, I love this feature. I'll tell you why. Because just like Omnia said, some people, they do travel a lot.
True.
Some people love going out. Some people's Instagram is made because they're travel bloggers. So having this feature does let you say, hey, I've been here and I did this and I did that with who and when. So I'm trying to imagine maybe if you tagged someone, like if I tagged Omnia on a story that I was at the Pulse 95 studios, and Instagram will show me that Hani was here on September 4th and Omnia was here with Hani.
On this location.
On that same location. So I like the feature. And I like, I just like how Instagram is trying to become more of a travel type of application.
It's like a walk down through memory lane. But let's also talk about Instagram's anti-bullying features that they are actually starting automatically. And he's rubbing his hands, getting prepared, because Instagram will be hiding comments that are similar to those who have been reported. So Instagram is coming much smarter than it ever was before. If you chose to report a certain comment, Instagram will basically take that comment as a trend and it will pick up all the other comments that are similar to the comment that you went ahead and you reported to make sure that all of those bullies are out of your comment section.
Thank you, Instagram. That's number one. I want to start it off by saying thank you, Instagram, because bullying is a big and major deal. Every time we talk about bullying, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get a little bit excited, and I'm going to talk about it because I am passionate about anti-bullying. Ladies and gentlemen, I love how I believe they're using AI technology to catch these perpetrators.
Yes, machine learning.
Machine learning, AI technology to catch these perpetrators who leave disrespectful comments. And I do give my hats off to Instagram, and I like Instagram. I don't use it that much, but I like Instagram, and I like what they're doing. Now, we always have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, that posting bad, harmful, hurtful comments is wrong. I'm going to say it once, I'm going to say it twice, I'm going to say it 3 times. As long as I have a platform to say what is supposed to be said, I'm going to say it. So, Instagram giving this feature, number one, it just shows how far technology has become, that we can have a robot or machine learning to catch these perpetrators who will leave bad comments. Number two, we can see that Instagram and social media platforms in general are waking up, because a lot of the times they used to let it slide.
True.
They're waking up to say, listen, bullying is bad. Do not bully people. Now, Omnia, I've seen in recent weeks, I think it was a famous celebrity divorced her husband.
Yeah.
And the people were just bombarding this man.
Yeah.
And they're telling him to do a lot of harmful things to himself just because they like that celebrity and they don't like him.
We've even seen it with U.S. President Donald Trump. Whenever he was diagnosed with COVID-19, people were also throwing hate comments on them, on him and his wife, as well as John Legend. He was also being criticized for the way they dealt with the hardship that they were going through, losing their son, or their child. I'm not sure of the gender. But it goes back to show how social media platforms have been fighting cyberbullying and also helping influencers gain a little bit more control on the comment section that they have.
I think we need a clap, Omnia, for Instagram. So we're going to give a quick clap.
Round of applause
for Instagram. And as long as Instagram keeps doing this, all these social media platforms keep doing this, we're going to talk it around the show, and we're going to appreciate what they're doing.
If you liked this episode of Future Talk, drop a like and subscribe.
Pulse 95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.